Trump finally coaxed Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell to cut interest rates and proved that you catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
We have a stupid person at the Fed. The guy is a numbskull. He's a stiff. He's a knucklehead.
Xi Jinping reprimands one of his Chinese officials. You see, in addition to slapping Nvidia with an antitrust violation to gain leverage with Trump in the trade negotiations, Xi wanted to butter up the Donald with a set of personalized coffee mugs. But his Chinese official screwed up the translation to English on the cups. The text just didn't strike the right cultural nuance. All the cups read, "Best Insurrectionist." And Trump was also upset because the mugs weren't made in America. The government shutdown reached a crescendo this week when President Trump demanded that the Senate get rid of the filibuster. That procedure where one side uses passive-aggressive delay tactics to prevent voting on a bill. A revered, highly technical and mature procedure.
I can't hear you.
That's basically what it is. That's what the Senate can't get rid of. Senators can't create bills together like adults. They have to preserve the filibuster and act like children.
The filibuster protects. It's been a voice for the minority. It gives the minority a say.
Vance described what it was like for the government to fund programs during a shutdown.
We're like guys running around, with a leak in a damn wall, trying to plug it with bubble gum. And we plug one spot with bubble gum, and we plug another spot with bubble gum, and we plug another spot with bubble gum.
Who uses bubble gum to repair a wall? Well, there was that one time. Has Xi gone MAGA? That in a minute. But first, former President Obama released a long post on X about Trump's Middle East peace deal, without even mentioning Trump, unlike Trump, who always gave Obama credit where credit was due.
When President Obama signed that horrible deal.
What the hell did he think? He's like a baby.
Obama got his revenge, though, when he accidentally on purpose passed his Nobel Peace Prize to Trump at the president's Thanksgiving. Sorry, Donald, I meant to pass the gravy. But in fairness to Obama, he's not used to people getting credit where credit's due. For example, he got that award for just thinking about his plans before accomplishing anything, giving hope to Gen Z couch potatoes worldwide. Don't let fear into your life, unless it's the summer horror classic, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Hi! Thanks for coming!
Can you believe our best friends are getting married?
A marked envelope. Could it be cash? A check?
I know what you did last summer. You know who'd appreciate a note like that? Forgetful seniors. I forget names all the time. I'd love a note like that. But Frank's biggest beef was with Democrats. Remember those signs?
Those paddles holding up in silence about cutting Social Security, cutting Medicaid, calling Trump a liar, attacking Elon Musk. That is not governing. That is performance art.
Did you hear that one of those lawmakers moonlights as a limo driver and got his signs mixed up at the airport? I guess some executive never made it home that day. We'll be right back, right after this important message from Marriott. At Marriott, everything is top-notch.
You may have seen the Marriott Bonvoy commercial featuring Formula One racing star George Russell. And you may be asking, why does the commercial show Mr. Russell in an absolutely desperate attempt to get out of his Marriott room? Really, isn't it obvious? It simply was not one of the spectacularly renovated Marriott rooms in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The man that you just saw and his girlfriend arrived at the San Juan Marriott at 11:28 a.m. for check-in. However, amazingly, their room wasn't ready until 8:25 p.m. An almost exasperating 9 hours, during which time they could have been enjoying the fruits of the renovation that Marriott had recently done to their wing of the hotel. For example, the new, conveniently placed bedside outlets for charging your devices. Oh dear, don't tell me that the new but tacky 1970s wood paneling has no outlets. By Jove, there are, in fact, plugs nearby. Well, sort of. In addition, they could have been hurting their backs turning on the floor lamp. Or having fun chasing a roll of toilet paper around the hallway. Or realizing that the new balcony lights had burned out. But last and most impressive are the new bathtub and shower.
You see newfangled appliance here. I know how to operate these though, even though they're kind of new, because I'm kind of good at this. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, and you'll see how great this is. Essentially,
So it's no wonder that Mr. Russell needed to hightail it out of his Marriott and make his way to a better experience at the Palace Motel in Pyongyang.
But maybe the Kai was channeling Hillary Clinton from 2016 when she talked about Trump ending democracy.
Clinton called Trump today a threat to the republic, a man determined to stoke fear and settle scores.
Imagine if he had not just Twitter and cable news to go after his critics and opponents, but also the IRS, or for that matter, our entire military.
Or if he had the Department of Education on his side. That could really make his enemies stupid. But Hillary was the first to reset our relationship with Russia.
We want to reset our relationship.
Except like when you use the wrong remote at home, you want to raise the TV volume, but you grab the cable box remote by mistake. Hillary brought the wrong reset button.
Let's do it together.
So we will do it together, okay?
Can't they make one universal reset button? Party all Sunday morning long in Utah. But first, the BBC was caught red-handed editing a Trump speech to make Trump appear even more guilty. Is that possible? Look what they've already done to this poor wretch. They've tried to kill him, impeach him, indict him, deplatform him, deballot him, debank him. This just in. He can't order a Happy Meal. He dealt with everything else. That might actually break him.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
This reminds me of the edit that Fox News did of Bernie Sanders. But they did it much more subtle than the BBC. Watch closely. See if you can tell where the edit occurred.
This point is not being made enough.
We have to make America great again.
Shut your trap.
Were all three of those Bernie Sanders? I don't think that last one was Bernie. Bernie's always so serious. What would he be like on a speed date?
What are you looking for in a match?
50,000 of our fellow Americans will die unnecessarily every year.
Stunning. You're a catch.
And finally this week, a judge rejected GOP redistricting efforts in Utah, all but guaranteeing a new Democrat seat in the midterms.
We do have breaking news on this Tuesday morning. The ruling is in on Utah's redistricting fight. Just after midnight, the 3rd Judicial District Court ruled in favor of the voters that are suing the state over Utah's political maps and accepted their map going forward for Utah's congressional elections.
A jubilant Utah activist celebrated, but in describing how she hoped Republicans would respond, the words she used were typical of Utah: religious, reserved, respectful.
Just sucking it up and actually doing what the people of Utah want.
Say what?
Sucking it up.
That's what I thought.
I'm sorry.
Now, if I had just risen from the dead, would I, A, ask what happened, B, request some water, C, call for an ambulance, or D, fight someone? And of course the answer is D, fight someone. 100%.
The question is really about electability here, and that's what I'm trying to get at. The Republican Attack Act against you in a general election, it writes itself. You supported the Sandinistas in Nicaragua, you honeymooned in the Soviet Union, and just this weekend you said you're not a capitalist.
I think Anderson Cooper was right. And here's the rest of the list of Bernie Sanders ammunition for Republican attack ads. Photoshop Stalin out of bar mitzvah picture. Well, I would have done the same thing. Sang Sweet Caroline at Hamas rally. Now that's just wrong. I can see those Republican attack ads now. Countries like India, who've been ripping us off with their sky-high tariffs.
But we've been ripped off for many, many years. The United States has been ripped off like no country probably in the history of the world has been ripped off for 45, 50 years.
However, since the time of Trump's boyhood in the 50s, the US has been the world's wealthiest country, and we're essentially at full employment right now. India has a higher unemployment rate than we do. How are they ripping us off? What does Trump want? To beat India with an even higher unemployment rate than they have?
I won't rest until we have the highest, fattest, juiciest unemployment rate in the history of unemployment rates.
And if India was truly ripping us off, wouldn't you expect to see Indian Prime Minister Modi burning through America's cash in Las Vegas?
Not Vegas, Disney World. I went on Space Mountain 11 straight times.
But if Trump were really negotiating, he might have agreed to the 0% tariffs that India had surprisingly proposed. India essentially called Trump's bluff. In fact, the Indian negotiator even wrote down 0 on Trump's menu at the Indian restaurant, just to make it clear for Trump. But he still didn't get it.
I thought he was telling me that my Indian meal would have 0 chili peppers. I mean, I don't like it super spicy, but 1 or 2 chili peppers is fine.
Trump's troops are jealous of the kind of police work that Mayor Bowser's cops do.
I feel so lucky.
Also this week, Trump is finally ready to impose sanctions on Putin over the Ukraine invasion. Until now, Trump thought he could solve the conflict because of his friendship with Vlad.
The war that I thought was going to be the easiest is probably the most difficult. That's the Ukraine and Russia. I thought that would be easier, the relationship with President Putin, all of that, it didn't matter.
Mr. President, who was the last friend you successfully influenced? Charlie Sheen? Or Alec Baldwin?
Alec Baldwin arrested for assault in New York for allegedly punching a guy and all over a parking space.
To be fair to Trump, the media is always ragging on him, right? Like when they made fun of his love of fast food. Remember that?
Trump had 4 major food groups: McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, pizza, and Diet Coke.
It's not probably healthy, but I'm not sure I believe in that. One thing about the big franchises, you have to have a certain, because of the importance. One bad hamburger, you can destroy McDonald's.
And in the same spirit of ridicule, the media this week made too much of Trump's claim that he could end the Ukraine war in 24 hours.
The man who once said he could solve the war in 24 hours told Republican lawmakers it's proven far harder than he expected.
You see, Trump didn't really think he could end the war in 24 hours. He was asked about the Red Square problem, and Trump misunderstood. He thought they were talking about the closing of 70 Red Robin locations.
One bad hamburger, you take Wendy's and all these other places, and they're out of business.
Ukrainians dying, maybe sanctions. Stopping burger joints from closing, definitely an executive order. Rand Paul idolizes Ronald Reagan and is a strict believer in Reagan's 11th commandment that you should never disparage a fellow Republican in public. And that's why he referred to J.D. Vance as J.D. I don't give a shit Vance. Reagan would be proud. So what do most TV pundits say about Trump's justification for his emergency tariffs?
The Court of International Trade and the Court of Appeals have both reached the same conclusion, which is that Trump doesn't have the authority, no president has the authority, under the 1977 International Economic Power Emergency Act.
Do these pundits not believe that our national debt of $30 trillion is an emergency? They must believe the country has an insurance policy it no longer needs.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need? Now you can sell your policy, even a term policy, for an immediate cash payment.
Introducing Zitgeist Anti-Aging Cream. Zitgeist tightens every pore in your body. A cream that can reverse time. A cream that can make you look, feel, and act like you're 20 years old again.
After using Zitgeist for a month, my skin is softer. I feel more energized. And I've begun to make the same stupid mistakes that I used to make when I was young.
Zitgeist has made me quiet again and unable to speak my mind.
just like when I was 18.
It's like I'm 25 years old again. I'm spending recklessly, and I'm no longer saving for retirement.
Zeitgeist. After just a few days of using this age-reversing product, you'll feel a strange desire to hang out with a group of kids who feel extremely entitled and have no idea what they want to do in life. Zeitgeist. We make pimples cool again.
Okay, look, rather than answer this, I'd rather go home and binge watch the last 9 Republican National Conventions on C-SPAN. And believe me, Ronald Reagan wouldn't even want to do that.
Hello? Senator? Hello? Well, his time was up anyway. Thank you, Senator. Now we have the privilege to welcome President Donald Trump, who has no slides. Is that right, Mr. President?
Excuse me, Chancellor, excuse me. You're wrong about me not bringing slides. I brought the greatest PowerPoint slide ever constructed by a human being. I don't use slides. Neither did Lincoln, Reagan, Napoleon, or Joe Rogan.
Listen, Copal got a raw deal. A raw deal, it's unfair, very unfair, but we're going to fix it. I don't know if there's a problem, but if there is one, I'm the only person in this galaxy who can fix it. For instance, you take the toilet at Mar-a-Lago. Ever try to get a plumber in Palm Beach, Florida at 3 a.m.? You think as President of the United States, I could get someone to fix a broken toilet? And look, I did really well with plumbers, really well. I own the plumber vote. Someone said you have to go all the way back to Julius Caesar and the Roman aqueduct to find a time when a leader had this many plumbers and engineers on their side. 2,000 years, imagine that. But the fake media, they'll never report that. Anyway, it was I who fixed the toilet. It's jiggling the handle. You got to jiggle the handle 4 or 5 times. Many people only jiggle 2 or 3 times, but it's got to be 4 or 5. That's the trick. That's why I do that sort of thing better than anybody.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Excuse me. Let me just say that I've also done well with the novelty pen makers. Just look at this pen.
And speaking of fake Elon Musk, fake Elon, are you there?
Yes, first to answer, Bill, although it'll be a challenge to be a good parent to all 14 of my children, I've come up with one of my great innovations. It's called Uber Parents. It's a news service that allows anyone to parent anyone else's kids for a short time and a coupon good for one SpaceX trip. In fact, I wanted to tell my mother that as a result of that innovation, I plan to have 10 more children, but I mistakenly dialed a Wall Street analyst group. They thought I was announcing 10 more new companies I was going to run. I said, no, just 10 more kids, nothing, too serious. But you're running short on time.
Although one Democrat who's in the doghouse now with both the media and Democrats is, of course, Chuck Schumer. In the old days, he was the greatest Senate Majority Leader ever. But now that they want a younger fighter in that seat, he's never done anything right.
Why do you think Leader Schumer is to blame?
He doesn't inspire confidence. He's not bold. He's out of touch with the grassroots. He's someone who led us into the war in Iraq. He doesn't have the moral clarity on Gaza. He couldn't say Mamdani's name.
Since he won that New York Healthcare Champion Award for 2024, at least no one can criticize him on healthcare.
He was not strong on fighting for healthcare.
When the Democrat machine wants you out, boy, they'll dig up or make up the worst about you. Like, his was the most sparsely attended bar mitzvah of 1963, where he never mentioned climate change. Put that picture up again. We asked AI for an image of Schumer at his bar mitzvah, and it gave us a Muslim boy in Lebanon. The budget on this show. They say he never could fight. They'll point out that while at Harvard, he could have fought harder to end disco music on campus. Talk about getting canceled and Me Too'd. They've just about Me 3'd him. And that's what's happening.